In this story, you're going to learn why having a specialist insurance broker on your side can make all the difference when you want to make a claim. Earlier today, I spoke with international wildlife photographer Hannes Lochner. In 2016, while located in remote Africa, a hippo damaged his four-wheel drive while he was crossing a river. I started the interview asking Hans to share how Chadwick's insurance helped him successfully make a claim that was settled within 24 hours.
Me and my wife are wildlife photographers and filmmakers. So whenever we are based in an area, in this particular case, we were in the Okavango Delta in Botswana. We were based there for 2.5 years. We set up a base camp in a protected, well, it's in a game reserve. We're in the middle of nowhere. You're surrounded by wildlife constantly. There's no fences or anything, so there's a lot of waterways to be crossed to get to certain islands and everything to film and photograph. So you bump into crocs and hippos crossing these rivers, and sometimes you're going to bump into some animals that's not really happy for you being there. So it's years at a time that we spent there. So it's inevitable you're going to bump into some unhappy animal at some point. So this particular claim ended okay for us being here to tell the story. Hippos are obviously one of the most dangerous animals in Africa and killing the most people actually in Africa. So we were very fortunate that we were inside the vehicle and not outside. And yeah, we crossed the water and it attacked us and basically bit the vehicle and lifted it up about 0.5 meter and shook it as much as it could, and teeth went through the front windows and through the hippos has got 2 fighting teeth which basically points forward, and that went through the vehicle, but it missed the most important engine parts and we could drive away luckily. So but it obviously did a lot of body damage, and yeah, we put a claim in with Chadwicks and it was all sorted out very quickly.
So there could have been a lot of stress, because if you'd been going through an online insurance company, you wouldn't have had anybody to contact and you would have had to fill in the claim form without any help. And your claim would have been hard to explain. How did Chadwicks help you throughout that process?
Well, when we were based there, the only communication that we had is through satellite phone. So there was no Starlink in those days. So we had to basically, Tim is also, he used to be one of my clients way back. And while chatting to him about insurance, because insurance for camera gear and filming gear is very expensive, especially all risks. So we basically were looking for competitive pricing, and he gave us a competitive price. And that's why we became also good friends after that. So it was easy for me. I got him on the sat phone, phoned him, and I explained the situation. We subsequently have a backup vehicle that we had to drive. It's about a 6-hour drive to the closest town where we could basically get internet and these kind of things. But the process was basically sorted out over the satellite phone, explanations and all these kind of things. So, which kept the ball, kept the ball already rolling kind of thing. And for me personally, or for us, time is crucial, because I need to replace this equipment, or in this case, the vehicle needs to be sorted out ASAP. It doesn't always look good when you drive around a vehicle with sponsor stickers everywhere and the vehicle's full of tusks, holes and everything. It doesn't look good. So it needs to be sorted out as quick as we can to make the vehicle 100%. At the end of the day, it's our bread and butter. So we need to, time is of essence, and everything was sorted out over the sat phone. And a few days later, we drove to a little village called Maan where we got internet. The paperwork was filed, sent in, and the claim was sorted out very quickly.
Now, this is not the first time you've made a claim. You also had a situation where a drone collided with a tree, and I'd imagine that's something you would need to get fixed quick smart. How did Chadwick's insurance help you when you're in such a remote location?
Well, again, the communication that we have is basically with a satellite phone. we like I just mentioned to you in the previous claim, we need to get these things sorted out very quickly. The drone is a very important part to do aerials on location, and luckily, our infrastructure is great with some of our sponsors that they will help us. Not always just you obviously buy gear from them at a reasonable price or a lot better price. But I need to replace this ASAP because our permits allows us to be there only for a certain time frame. So if something happens, they need to send me up gear so I can use it so long while the claim is being sorted out in the background. Luckily, with Chadwicks, I've pretty much, these claims go extremely quickly because the person that you wait for the most is actually the person repairing. For example, the vehicle, it had to go in for a month. Luckily, we had a backup vehicle so we can continue our work. But the claim was sorted out just for a few days. It was done. As well as the drone, that was sorted out within a day. And we can immediately replace it, and delivery usually within 24 to 48 hours that we can get a new drone. So for us, it's all about time. We don't have it because we pay a lot of money to be able to film in certain areas, and we got the time, and we got deadlines to be able to to meet. And so it's whenever we lose equipment and vehicles or cameras or these kind of things, it's a stressful time because we're on the clock always, and it's a very extreme. It's very expensive for us not be able to work. So luckily, we've got, like I said, we've got things in place that we can get quickly gear up there to basically on standby while claims are being sorted out. But it always helps when your claim is being sorted out within 24 to 48 hours. The money's in your account within another 24 hours. You can do the transfer and everything is back to normal within 6 days. Now, 6 days can cost you also quite a lot of money, but luckily, like I just mentioned, we've got things in place that we can get geared very quickly on standby, and while the claim is being sorted out in the background very quickly. So Chadwicks has been great with it. And it does help when you know the owner on speed dial. So it's great. They've just, the speed is always on our, when it comes to the people that I work with at Chadwicks. Montana for years, one of them, I always deal with her. And I never have to wait. Things happen very fast, which is great. And that's the great thing about being with a company for more than 10 years. You get you deal with one person, and things are happening fast, which is crucial to us when paying companies like Chadwicks. It's when you pay a lot of money every month, you expect good service, and it's been great. When you build up a relationship for over a decade, it just means one thing, and it means basically they do their work and they do it properly and they do it fast. And that's what we want. And that's what we need.
Now, there are going to be people watching this interview and they're weighing up, should they go with a company like Chadwicks Insurance, or should they go with an online insurance company who is claiming they will charge them less, but at the same time provide them with a similar service? What would you say to them?
Well, I'm going to take an example for of my experiences in the past. I fly a lot. So if I buy a plane ticket off an online service, all right, and not straight from the airline, I've had some issues before where flights were cancelled. There's no one for me to phone. I can send an email and everything. I might get an automatic reply. They can't help me because I need to deal with the airline directly. So the point I'm trying to make is, if you deal with a company straight, in my personal opinion, and build up a relationship with someone like Chadwicks, the service is, for me personally, so much better than the dealing with an online company that I deal with 10 different people every time I phone in. I know who I deal with. I've got a personal relationship with business relationship with these people. In case Montana's not there, there will be another lady that will help me, or it's Tim that helps me. So that's for me important. I know that when you are a very big company, you can't be everywhere all the time. But unfortunately for me, I deal with basically 2 people in this company, and those people get back to me within a few minutes after phoning them and telling them what happened, and everything gets done quickly, fast, and sufficiently. So for me, to answer your question, is with an online company, I think it will go a lot slower. And I've been with at least 3-4 companies before Chadwicks, and one of them particularly was a very big company, and every time I submit a claim or anything, I was a number. It wasn't a personal relationship or business relationship, and that's what I don't like. I like people or a company that can give me a person that I can deal with, that can handle everything. I trust her. It's a trust issue as well. I don't have to deal with 100 different people. It's great. Not that I have 100 claims, but you know what I mean.
Chadwick's Insurance was able to arrange a payout within 24 hours. Do you think those other insurance companies you've dealt with in the past would have paid out so quickly?
Just to give an example, I was with companies, without naming anyone. It was, and I had lens equipment being destroyed by especially hyenas, because they get in everywhere when you have a base camp out in the field. And I was never paid for these equipment because they say it was negligent. So at the end of the day, when I specify things and I have to work with these tools and set up certain cameras in certain areas, even in protected casings and stuff, an elephant will just stampede on these things. This is my bread and butter. This is how we do things. This is how we work. This is, when you take out the insurance, you will obviously let these people know that this is why I want the insurance on this, for example. To give you another example, we were traveling and we have a lot of gear in the car, although it's locked up behind the seats in certain boxes or anything, out of the visual sight of anyone. Your car with alarm and locking, that's your only security when you stop in the middle of nowhere and sleep on top of the roof rack or something. It happened before where a smash and grab, we stopped and we had to sleep, and there was a smash and grab. By the time I got down, some of the gear was grabbed from behind my seat and it was stolen, and they also called it negligent. So, and it was never being paid. So it's a lot of money I lost through this. With Chadwicks, I've never had a problem. As long as you're being honest and you tell them exactly what you do and the different setups and criteria where you use your gear, never had a problem. So that's why I've been with them for a lot more than 10 years.